All right, so today we're diving into a policy briefing that lays out a new and, honestly, maybe the ultimate domain of conflict, the human mind itself. The strategies and technologies we're about to explore, well, they're not just designed to influence thought, they're designed to control it. Let's get into it. Right out of the gate, the objective is crystal clear. This isn't about destroying buildings or capturing land. It's about fundamentally altering human behavior by going straight for the source code, the brain. At the end of the day, the goal is total control. So, to really get a grip on this, we first have to understand the new terrain. We're not talking about land, sea, or air anymore. This is something way, way more personal. And here you can see a massive shift in military thinking. I mean, look at the official definition of battle space. It's no longer just the physical world, land, sea, air, space. Now, it officially includes the non-physical realm of the information environment. And you know what that really means? It means your mind is now officially on the map. This leads to a pretty unsettling idea. This new kind of war doesn't have a start or an end date. There are no declarations, no treaties. It's a constant, never-ending struggle for cognitive dominance. And victory? It isn't about occupation. It's about assimilation. Getting your enemy to see the world, to think, and to feel exactly the way you want them to. Okay, so if the mind is the new battlefield, what are the weapons? What's in the arsenal for this cognitive war? Let's take a look. At the highest level, you've got information operations, or I/O. You've probably heard of this. At its core, it's about controlling the narrative, right? Managing what your opponent sees, what they hear, and ultimately what they believe, all to shape their decisions. But let's drill down a bit deeper. This concept, neocortical warfare, was being kicked around back in the 90s. This isn't just about feeding bad info into a system. This is about targeting the neocortex, the thinking part of the brain, to directly shape an enemy's behavior without ever firing a shot. And this diagram? This is basically the playbook for how it works. This is the OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, and act. It's the cycle every single one of us goes through to make a decision. The goal of neocortical warfare is to get inside your enemy's OODA loop. If you can control what they observe and how they orient to it, you can control the decision they make. You make them react to your moves, always a step behind. And that brings us to the really high-tech, sci-fi sounding stuff. Neuroweapons. Now we're moving past just influencing information and into directly targeting the biology of the brain itself with drugs, devices, or other agents to change how a person thinks. So we've got the battlefield and we've got the weapons. But an arsenal is nothing without a strategy, right? A guiding doctrine. So now we're going to look at the game plan behind all this. The whole foundation for this way of thinking is a field called cybernetics. And it's so important to remember where this came from. This field was born out of World War II research. The goal was to create better systems of command and control for weapons, machines, and yeah, as the definition says, for animals, which of course includes us. And check this out. The early pioneers weren't just using the human body as a loose metaphor. No, they were using it as a literal blueprint. This model right here shows how command and control systems for entire organizations were designed to perfectly mimic the human nervous system, the brain sending signals to control the body. And this all leads us to the absolute core doctrine, a concept that was really perfected in the Soviet Union. It's called reflexive control. And you got to admit, it's brilliant in a terrifying way. It's the art of feeding your opponent information so that they willingly make the exact choice you wanted them to make all along, and they think it was their own idea. And it's not magic. It's a cold, calculated process. Step 1. You build a complete psychological model of your target. You know their biases, their fears, their hopes. Step 2. You get inside their information flow. Then, step 3, you start feeding them carefully crafted distortions, fake realities. And the final goal, step 4, they make what they believe is a voluntary decision, which is, of course, the exact outcome you engineered from the very beginning. All right, so let's wrap up by looking ahead, because this entire battle space, this whole concept, is about to get a whole lot faster, a lot more widespread, and increasingly automated. Here's the thing about speed. Soviet military planners pointed out that computers are actually better decision makers than human commanders. Why? Because they don't have emotions, gut feelings, or intuition getting in the way. In this new high-speed information war, the slow, messy, emotional human mind becomes the weakest link. It becomes a liability.
And this is not just a theory. Look at these diagrams from the defense company Saab. Don't get lost in the jargon, just look at the shapes. On the left, you see the present. See the manual processing by humans at the bottom? Now look at the chart on the right showing the future. That manual box has shrunk, and auto systems are everywhere. They are literally designing the human out of the decision-making loop.
And the stuff being built right now is just staggering. We're talking about AI systems that can monitor and influence thousands of people at the same time, automated remote action programs. You can easily imagine a future where wars are fought almost entirely between competing military AIs. And the targeting is getting disturbingly personal, with tech that was developed in the US called, and I'm not making this up, thought injection. And this quote from Dr. James Giordano really nails it. He calls it the force multiplier. You take big data, all that information being collected about all of us, and you combine it with the latest in neuroscience. That combination is what's going to power the next generation of these neural weapons. So, just how precise can this get? Get this. An American weapons designer, John Norcine, claimed his tech could hit someone with what he called semiotic cues, tiny little signals, like a symbol or a sound. And he said he could do it at -200 decibels. Now, to put that in perspective, that's not a whisper. That's not even silence. That is a signal so fantastically quiet that your conscious mind would have absolutely no idea it's even there. It's designed to slip right past your defenses and plant an idea deep in your subconscious. And all of this leaves us with one final, really critical question to think about. As this war for the mind becomes faster, more automated, running on programs and doctrines we designed, who or what is really calling the shots?